Here's where it started. Right there is where it started. Let's measure that off. These are size 14s, so 2, 3, 4. And there's where it ended, right there. So 4.5 of my feet. It's more like a 5-foot hole. 15-pound cigar. Here's my 7-inch quilting needle or whatever. You can buy these on Amazon for peanuts. And throw a little fisherman's knot in it. The old improved clinch. Twist it up a few times. Pass through. You know how to do that. Cinch it down. So that'll give you a good base to work with. And now for this size hole, I'm probably going to do it in a couple of steps. I'm going to pull off as much line as my arm can pull. Any more than that, it's just going to get in your way. But you can see where this hole starts. Right there. Since it's all the way down at the double selvage, I don't know if I may keep this double selvage. It's torn. Some of it's completely torn off all the way down to the lead line in places. What I'll probably do is I'll just stitch this up to the selvage itself, which is this string material that holds the mesh to the lead line right here. I'm gonna start by putting my needle through. Right about there, we're gonna get this first loop of mesh. I'm gonna tie an improved clinch. I'm gonna let the needle go. I'm gonna pull my line. Now, I know you can't see this because it's fluorocarbon. But trust me, I'm tying an improved clinch right here to start this thing off and give me an anchor point for my stitches. All right, so now we've got our base attached here. Got our improved clinch to start this thing off. And I'm just gonna do a basic running stitch is what they call it, and pretty sure what the sewing people would call this. But here's one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to bunch your net up to where you get too much of it down here, because on a long hole like this, you're gonna end up with not enough net at the other end. So the one thing you really need to be careful with is to try to keep your mesh, don't bunch it up and don't stretch it out too much. Just let it relax as you go along. Compare where the mesh needs to be. Now you can see, here's where 2 of the panels were tied together. There's a big heavy stitch right here in the middle, and I can actually see where that is at the lead line right here. So I know that's going to meet up right there. That helps me out a lot. So let's get this stitch going and we'll see what it looks like. You know, it actually is going to be easier to use this double selvage that's left. So I'm just going to go in and out. And I know this is going to be hard to see, but you want to make sure you get a piece of the top part of the tear and a piece of the bottom part of the tear. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to go back together. If you want it to be perfect, you can make it perfect. But if you want to just fix your net, this will do it right here. I'm just weaving this needle through. As you'll see, this will go fairly quickly. As long as you've got a good piece of mesh to stick it through. Now there, I've got the full 7 inches right there. I'm going to go ahead and pull that through. Okay, so that part's fixed. We just keep going on down like that. Going down until we get it all the way. And we'll come back and see what it looks like in the end. Alright, one thing I decided to do on this is this hole is so long that I went about 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches, and I made a good strong knot right here, right in the middle of it. So if I ever did snag something else, and happened to break this stitch line, which the stitch line I'm using is stronger than the monofilament in the net, but if that ever did cut or break somewhere, it would open this entire hole back up with a running stitch. So it's not a bad idea to put another improved clinch right here in the middle of it, and that's going to hold that from coming open. So you give yourself some safe points to prevent this whole entire thing from unraveling. But this is what it's looking like so far. You can see the line going through the middle. It's not perfect, but it's going quick, and it's gonna keep most of the shad in the net, and it's gonna make it throwable again. So, you know, resurrect this $150 piece of crap into something that actually works. Okay, here we go. The last few stitches on this approximately 4 foot long hole. And my elapsed time here was about 20 to 25 minutes, which is actually pretty fast for a hole this big. And I'm going to show you what my finishing move looks like. That's it right there, guys. That's the end of that big old hole. So the finishing move is another improved clinch, but I'm going to do it with the needle, so it's really easy. I'm going to go back through the same hole I went through on the finishing, on the last pass. I'm going to pull the needle through, and I'm going to wrap this line around the needle 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Pull it on through. That will give me a nice improved clinch type knot. Pull that down. Don't break it. We'll do one more just to be sure. Pass it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it on through. Cinch that down. You guys can see it's going to be a nice, tight, finished knot. We'll trim that tag in, and then it'll be fixed. I'm going to show you guys my new technique. A little bit faster, opens the net a little bit better than the ways I've shown on YouTube previously. So watch this. Grab the horn of the net with the hand that has the rope. This is on an 8-foot net. Grab the body of the net a little bit higher than halfway. Then you're going to let this fold over. You'll grab the net in the middle of that so that you have this hanging. And then you fan the weights and throw as usual. If you want to see that again, horn of the net with your rope hand, raise it up, grab here, fold it over, grab there, fan the weights, ready to throw. It's fast. And that opens great. Except for right there. Do it again. Nothing beats practice. Pull it up, fold it over, grab it, fan the weights, fine. So, do it too hard, but that would have been a pancake on the water.